Welcome to your California Sexual Harassment Prevention Training. You may ask yourself, why do I need this training? Well, no one wants or deserves to be harassed while at work. The problem is that what others consider harassment may not be harassment to you. Unlawful workplace sexual harassment occurs when a person directs negative, inappropriate, or unwanted conduct at a worker based on their sex, gender, sexual orientation, gender expression, pregnancy, or other sex-related reasons. Sexual harassment can take many forms, and with more media platforms available to employees, sexual harassment has never been more prevalent in the workplace. In this training, you will learn the legal definition of sexual harassment, the types of harassment, specific laws prohibiting it, explicit cases and examples for how to prevent harassment, and much more. You will be given quizzes throughout this training, but don't worry, there's no failing here, only education. After your training, you'll become part of the solution by gaining a greater understanding of how to make your workplace a better place for all. Now, meet Megan and Chad, two colleagues who are here to discuss everything you need to know about sexual harassment as they guide you through today's course.
Hey, Jen, did you know life without you is like a broken pencil? Pointless. Anna, can I follow where you're going right now? Because my parents always taught me to follow my dreams.
Having fun over there?
Actually, yes, I am. Thanks for noticing.
You might want to rethink that wink. The world is changing, my friend. Things you might have gotten away with 10, 20 years ago might just come back to bite you in the you-know-what.
That's okay. I'm into that sort of thing.
The definitions for what qualifies as appropriate behavior and sexual harassment are changing every day. You might want to consider changing with it.
Changing, you say?
Yes, in ways you clearly haven't gotten the memo about. Want the memo?
Uh-oh. I'm not sure I'm gonna like this.
That depends on if you want to stay a caveman forever. Here it is in a nutshell. California workers are protected from sexual harassment in the workplace by both state and federal laws, and it's been that way for some time, since the federal law that prohibits sexual harassment is Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Seriously? This has been in place since the 60s?
Yep, and you should know that the federal agency that enforces Title VII is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The EEOC, as they are called, defines sexual harassment as unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature when submission to such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of an individual's employment. Submission to or rejection of such conduct by an individual is used as the basis for employment decisions affecting such individual. Or, such conduct has the purpose or effect of unreasonably interfering with an individual's work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working environment.
I'm starting to get a little concerned. Is this an intervention?
No, it's an education. What today is about mostly concerns the California law that prohibits sexual harassment, aka the Fair Employment and Housing Act, or FEHA. The California agency that enforces FEHA is the Department of Fair Employment and Housing. They define sexual harassment as the following: unwanted sexual advances and/or verbal harassment, for example, epithets, derogatory comments or slurs on a basis of sex or gender, physical harassment such as assault, impeding or blocking movement, or any physical interference with normal work or movement when directed at an individual on a basis of sex or gender. Visual forms of harassment like derogatory posters, cartoons, or drawings on a basis of sex or gender, or sexual favors, such as unwanted sexual advances, which condition an employment benefit upon an exchange of sexual favors.
That's a pretty extensive list. How am I supposed to get dates?
Join Tinder like the rest of America.
Wait, does it matter who you're potentially harassing at work? What if it's a guy dressing like a girl? Or a them dressing like a they? Can I not say anything to anyone?
Good question. Issues that could arise include sexual orientation, gender identity, including all the pronouns that come with it, gender expression, pregnancy, childbirth, breastfeeding, and/or related medical conditions. Also, per your question, this includes transgender status or the status as an individual who is transitioning or who has transitioned.
Yeah, I had a friend in transition once. He started as a stoner, then transitioned into a drug dealer.
That's just not the same thing at all.
Does it have to be a male to a female? I'm asking because last summer I interned at a shoe company. My female boss stepped all over me, and I'm pretty sure some of what she did was sexual harassment. So would I, as a guy, be protected?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that. The short answer is yes, you would be. Also, you should know that the FEHA's anti-harassment provisions are broader and more protective than those of Title VII, and employers and employees alike, regardless of gender, must abide by the broader and more protective laws in California. You can read about it if you want.
Is this available on a phone?
Probably.
Oh, good.
And just so you're aware, the following people are protected under the FEHA: employees, applicants, contractors, volunteers, unpaid interns. And it's worth noting that the employer is strictly liable for the harassing conduct of its supervisors, regardless of whether the employer knew or should have known of the harassment. By the same token, an employee who harasses another employee is personally liable for the harassment.
No way. Are you saying that the harasser can get personally sued for his or her behavior? Asking for a friend.
Tell your friend he or she absolutely can. In fact, in California, there are no limits to what a victim can collect if they successfully win a sexual harassment case, whereas the federal law caps damages at $50,000 for small businesses and $300,000 for larger ones. Some other differences between California and federal law are: all employers, even sole proprietors, are encompassed by the law in California versus federally, where it only applies to companies with 15 or more employees. California law protects independent contractors, volunteers, and unpaid interns. This is not the case federally. Employers are automatically liable for harassment by managers and supervisors. Again, not the case federally. And individuals can be personally sued for sexual harassment, whereas federally, only employers can be sued.